Now listening to the In My Opinion podcast, the home of edutainment, brought to you by Sakali, DTM, and Uzuma. So get your drinks, snacks, relax, and enjoy.
And where I found the lamp
That's like one of the signs.
which is one of the symptoms. Where I found the lamp wasn't normal because it was on my sternum, which was just about there.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So when I felt it at first, I was just like, okay, I'll go to the GP.
Okay.
So when I went to the GP and I was like, oh, I found a lump. She's like, yes, it's not cancer. It's probably just, did you have your period? And I was just like, I've had my period.
For many years.
And so normally what they say is breasts tend to feel different when you're about to have your period or just after your monthly cycle. But for me, I've had my monthly cycle. It's still there.
Okay.
And she was just like, oh, no, you're 34. It's not cancer. It's probably just a cyst. And I have an arrhythmia problem with my heart. So I had like a loop recorder in situ and it was just above where the lump was. So she was like, no, it's your loop recorder. Okay. So lucky enough, I work with cardiovascular surgeons at work. Okay. So I went to one of the consultants and I was like, is this normal? And he was like, no, that's not normal. You need to get it checked. So I went back to the GP.
Wow. So imagine you didn't have that.
You would have just continued living your life.
Jesus Christ.
So I went back to the GP and I said, like, it's been checked and I need to be referred. And I was like, it's not going to cost you nothing to refer me, so just refer me. Just refer me. So she agreed, and then I got referred, and I went for my appointment. It was a Saturday. I went, jolly me, sat in the waiting room. I was just looking. I was like, oh, I'm the youngest sat here. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're thinking, what's
I
going
was
on?
just like, okay, yeah. So I went
fine.
in for my consultation, and the consultant, I whacked my boob out with no dinner, no drink, no nothing. It was just like, free fall, have a feel. And, she palpated it, and she's like, oh, I'm going to biopsy it. And her face. So when you work in a clinical field, you tend to learn to read facial expression.
Okay.
So I was like...
Because they have to tell you, everything is okay.
Exactly.
But you need to be able to see beyond that.
So then I was just like, it's not a cyst, is it? And she's like, no, it's not. But there's help for... Whatever it is, there's help for you. So I was like, okay, fine.
Oh,
so she did her biopsy. I walked out the waiting room. And in my head, I was like, Rakima, you have cancer. Deal with it now. So I kind of just went home, sat down. And I was like, God, if this is your plan for me, if this is the path you've chosen me to wear, there is obviously a greater plan to it. So it's fine. Let's go.
Wow.
Let's roll.
So you accepted
I
it from the
accepted it
beginning.
at that point because there's no point in dwelling on something you can't change. I can't change what was coming. There was nothing I could do was going to change the outcome. What I could do was adjust my attitude and my mindset to what was coming ahead. So I got the phone call on the 13th saying on the 14th of February, Valentine's mind, I needed to go to the breast clinic. And I was like, okay. So 8 o'clock in the morning, sat in the waiting room. Again, the youngest in the waiting room. I walked in, opened the door. She sat me down. She's like, I don't have good news for you, but what I can tell you is you're not dying. I burst out laughing.
Okay.
What are the doctor's reaction?
Yeah, when you're laughing.
She looked at me and was just like... And I was just laughing. And I laughed and laughed and laughed. And with me, my laughing or smirking is a mechanism of coping. And then she was just like, are you okay, Miss Khan? I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm taking what you said. I'm processing what you said. And I was like, okay, so what's the next step? And she now came at me with, we're going to have this. You have a mammogram, you have CT, you have MRI, all the information. And I didn't cry because I was told I had cancer. I cried because I was overwhelmed with all the information that she fed me. I was like, can you just hang on a minute? Let me just digest.
And then
I've got cancer first.
Let me digest what you're saying.
You just said, yeah.
And she was like, right, you need to come out of the room and you need to go for a mammogram. And like the poor radiographer, I was in a floods of tears. And she's like, I'm sorry. And it's okay. You'll be fine. I'm like, I'm not crying because I have cancer. I'm crying because I'm overwhelmed with information.
I can imagine, give me a leaflet or something.
Just something I can read for myself. 6 leaflets.
6 leaflets.
Yeah, but at least tell me I've got cancer. Give me the leaflets, then I'll come back.
No, and then, went from mammogram, sat in the waiting room, and she's like, okay, we're going to call you back. And in the journey going home, I was just like, okay, I have cancer. Okay, right.
What's a mammogram? So is that like a scan?
So a mammogram is a scan. So effectively, they squash your boob.
Is it like the one I think I've seen of you put your boobs on top of
and they squash it?
That's I've seen it.
Squashed.
Like
Really?
and
So it
it's
hurts.
painful.
Oh.
It hurts, but it's necessary because
scan.
they can see other lumps that are not palpable. So there's lumps that you can't touch, but you can see them
On the scan. And may
On
I
the
ask,
scan.
from the point you found the lump to this point, how long are we talking now?
3 weeks.
3. Okay. Is that a good turnaround?
That's a
Would you
good
say?
turnaround because
Okay.
it was 2 weeks on the fast track for the NHS. So it was
Right.
good. It was a good turnaround.
Okay. And when you felt the lump, would you say that is the lump formed that day?
No.
Oh, so it could have formed.
So the month before, I didn't feel it, but it doesn't mean that it
wasn't
wasn't
there.
It means that it wasn't
Okay.
It was just
palpable,
growing.
so it wasn't there. So I felt it, and I was like, "This wasn't there last month."
Okay, I
So
get what you're saying.
It's like I said, breast cancer is not lumps only. You know,
That's just one of the.
It's just one of the things. So I came to terms with it, and then when I went back, she was like, "So we're going to give you a lumpectomy," and I was like, "No, I just want both boobs gone." And she was like, "No. You know, you can have."
Wait. I'm sorry. You had made that decision already that just take them off.
Yep.
And what would that do? As in stop it
Because
from coming
stops
back?
it, isn't it?
So when you have a double mastectomy, it reduces the risk of you getting breast cancer again. It doesn't reduce the risk of your cancer coming back because breast cancer can form in distant parts of the body,
yeah.
Okay.
normally, mainly your bones.
Okay.
So for me, it was just take them off. Like let's just eliminate that.
Okay.
Let's take it off. But unfortunately, she was like, no. You can have a lumpectomy, and a lumpectomy is where they go in and they just take away the lump. And I was
Okay.
like, but I don't want that. I want a mastectomy. I want you to remove the whole breast.
Why did you? Because obviously I know sometimes some people like, you know, from what you hear, stuff like sometimes they do spread, isn't it? So was that your thinking, or because why?
So
what
with the
made you-
lumpectomy, majority of the time, the cancer comes back because all they're doing is effectively removing the lump and the tissue surrounding it to clear the margins. But for me, I just wanted it gone. I just needed that peace of mind. Like I said to myself, if I'm going to go through chemo and I'm going to go through all the side effects and everything comes with it, like I'll reduce the risk of having to do it again. So she was like, okay, we're going to send you for a CT. I went for a CT. I went for a MRI, which was the most embarrassing thing ever.
Why?
Because when you go for a breast MRI, the radiographer was like, so I'll require you to be on all fours right now.
Oh. Yeah, I can see that.
Like
yeah.
I laughed, me being me, I laughed until my belly was sore because you basically lie on your stomach and both your breasts go into these holes at the bottom.
Right.
And they come from underneath and they
scoop.
adjust you.
Oh.
So I was just like,
Wow.
like you're just having a free day. Like there's no
Literally.
date, no nothing. Like we're just going straight to
No, I
it.
just take you no to dinner, no cocktails,
No
nothing.
content, no nothing.
That's,
You even went there by yourself.
So when all my results came back, it went to show that my whole left breast was cancerous.
okay.
Like the whole
Whole
left
of it.
breast was cancerous. And I thank God because it was like, we're going to have a mastectomy. And I was like, yes. Because that's what I wanted. I don't want a lumpectomy.
Wow.
So you're telling me
You are something else, I
going
can't
to
believe.
cut it off. I was like, yes. I went
A
home.
lot
I
of us
did a
would be
TikTok.
crying,
I
bawling.
was dancing.
What?
And my friends were just like, Kimmy. And that's another
Yeah.
thing. I have the best girlfriends in the world.
Oh,
and
that's
I
good.
love them. But
Shout you guys out.
they were not allowed to cry.
Okay.
Dope.
In front of you, you mean?
No, there's no tears. I'm not
okay.
dead. I'm not dying. You're not crying.
Fair enough.
Energy has to be
Like
up
that's
at
it.
all times.
It's like when I told my auntie I had cancer, she cried and I was like, I'm not dying. What are you crying for?
Because
like-
you're going to be in pain?
Yeah, stop. But
Okay.
I'm not. My whole point was,
But remember
I'm
the mindset
not
where you put
dying.
her.
I'm not dying. I wasn't given a terminal diagnosis. It's positive. I'm not dying.
I
And like
respect that.
my one friend, one day we were in the car and she cried because I was going through chemo. I had lost so much weight. She burst out crying and I was like, best know you ain't crying.
I can tell already
She's something else.
Like you're not crying.
I don't know whether to laugh or cry
No, but-
myself right
but
now,
that's
to be
the thing, like,
honest.
I laugh. Like I know my positivity is not for everybody, but this is the choice I made.
I
I
hear that.
made a choice to not dwell, not cry, not be negative, because at the end of the day, your mind is a powerful tool when you use it right. It's like on the day of my surgery. So I had my breast removed on the 31st of March. I was dancing. It's all over my Instagram. I was dancing. I was like, ding dong, that is gone.
Wow.
If you don't mind, take us through that process. How did that happen?
So what happens is I had a consultation with a consultant and she said, we're going to have a mastectomy. I said, that's fine. And then like every cancer patient is given a CNS, which is a specialist nurse, a cancer nurse. So I went in to see my cancer nurse and she talked me through the procedure and she explained that they take away 99.9% of your breast tissue and that you will be left with a scar and you're going to leave the hospital with drains coming out and you'll come back to the hospital and you'll have the drains taken out. And I think because I already work in theatres, I knew the process. So I was quite comfortable. But I think it's really good for them to do that for women who don't work because how they explain, the literature they use is easy for you to digest and to understand what's happening. So on the day of my surgery, I went in, I wore my Wonder Woman socks.
Wonder Woman socks.
Yep.
You are a Wonder Woman. I'll tell you
Wonder
that.
Woman socks. I made sure my knickers were matching because
You didn't want to.
I didn't want to. I needed to be on. Yep, everything
to be on everything feeling right. 100%.
Needed to be on tick.
Impeccable.
Made sure my legs were all shaved. I was all ready. I was ready for theatre.
I ain't mad at it.
I made sure the kitty cat was fresh because you never know.
Just in case.
Just in case. I was ready. And
That was funny.
I went in and they came, they did their pre-ops. And lucky for me, the team that did my operation, I worked with at the Children's Hospital.
Oh.
So I worked with the
You were
anaesthetist.
comfortable.
I had
So you
worked
felt,
with the
yeah,
OT,
exactly.
And he came and he was like, Kimmy, are you sure you're comfortable with me anesthetizing you? I was like, don't worry, I wore special knickers for you. Just because.
It wasn't like this woman.
And
It
he was
wasn't
like,
thinking.
you are just crazy. I was like, no,
Yeah.
I made sure they're matching. Don't worry. Just for you.
So, like getting the mastectomy, obviously you didn't manage to get both,
No.
which was what you want. Is that like an NHS thing? If you went
Yes.
private, could you have got both removed?
Yes, but it's like 15,000
Yeah, I can
pounds.
imagine.
Sheesh.
Yes. Before the NHS used to give you a double mastectomy, regardless of which breast cancer you have.
Okay, but it
So-
changed.
Sorry. So
changed.
the fact that obviously you're saying it was on your left that they found to have been, but the right side was
It's
perfectly
all
fine.
clear,
So
yeah.
why would you want to take both of them off?
Because
Just
it
to
just
prevent.
reduces the risk. It's preventative. It's preventative surgery.
So
Of it.
just because?
Yeah, just
for
because-
just sake.
Just take it off.
Wow.
So if you have the BRCA2, they will take both of them away
Right.
Okay,
because that's the gene that carries. It's like Angelina Jolie.
yeah,
Ah.
yeah.
But
Because she got both.
She got both removed. It's
Oh,
preventative.
she hasn't got none right now.
No, it's
Ah.
preventative. It's preventative.
Because her mother had it as well, wasn't it, or something?
I don't really read
Or the
Angelina
gene.
Jolie. When
I
I
think I
found
might
out that
remember.
she did what she did, like, I was blasé in that time because I was like, I ain't gonna get breast cancer.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
in my
yeah.
20s.
Yeah. Does it matter about age, by the
No,
way,
it
with breast
doesn't.
cancer? Even if you're in your
Girls
20s?
as young as 22 are diagnosed with breast cancer.
And is it genetic? Is it hereditary or is it?
So if you carry the BRCA gene, it's hereditary.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, for me, it was just life.
Oh, so
Life.
just
So
life,
nothing you
that's
did, no smoking, anything like that. It was just life.
It's
It just
just life.
happened.
It just happened. It was just unfortunate.
And I think that's the hardest part. Like, like sometimes you get, because you're smoking too much or you was doing this too much. So you kind of know
You can make-
there's like a roadmap to
Yeah,
where
why
I
I
can
got
start
it.
to. Yeah, but when it's like it's just happened and there's not a change, you don't know what to kind of change in
Like,
your
I'm not
lifestyle,
gonna
really.
lie. I used to smoke like socially,
Yeah.
Okay.
but it doesn't mean that that's
you
what
get
caused
expressed
the
That's what
cancer.
caused it, yeah, yeah.
I drink socially. It doesn't mean that's what's
that's
caused. Like you don't eat how it doesn't
could be
matter
anything.
But all those if you live a healthy life, it doesn't mean that
yeah.
you're not going to
You're gonna
that you're not going to
gonna
get
get
cancer
cancer, it could
because
just happen.
I know somebody who was vegan, who went to the gym 6 times a week,
all of that,
who did all
yeah,
of
we
that,
all
who
hear that,
ended up
yeah.
with triple negative cancer. It
Jesus.
doesn't
it's
matter.
your body basically.
It's
Everyone's
just-
body is different.
I wouldn't even say it's bad luck.
It's
That's
just life.
life.
Okay, so I got a few questions.
That's
so,
fine, yeah.
firstly,
This guy, breathe, bro, breathe.
no, but when you're hearing people's
Just like hear a
stories,
little breath on their headphones.
so were you with someone at this time?
Yes.
And do you mind me asking how they felt? Like, how did they support you? Like, because I feel like as men, we hear about cancer a lot, but it doesn't happen to us. If anything, it happens to people that we love. How were you supported, and how can we be more
Yeah,
supportive?
especially with breast cancer.
Yeah.
I think everybody is different and everybody channels things differently. And I can't speak for all men out there.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But some men, and let's be honest, like
Yep.
African men.
Yeah.
Like channeling your emotion is not something that
It's
you
not the
taught.
best, yeah.
It's not encouraged. You're not taught. He did what he could do
Okay.
at the time. He managed the way that he could have managed,
Yeah.
and I 100% respect that.
Did you feel supported?
In some ways, yes, and in some ways,
Okay.
no.
Because you're sounding very politically correct right now. That's why I thought, let me
I
just
am being
ask.
politically correct.
Did you feel
In
supported?
some ways, yes, and in some
Right.
ways, no. Like I said, everybody channels emotions differently. And for him, it was particularly hard because his dad died from cancer. So I understood.
Like reminiscent.
But what
Yeah.
does support look like from a man in that in
this
yeah.
situation?
So, I
yeah.
mean, like, okay, for example, your wife is about to lose her breast.
Yeah.
Embrace it. Your wife is going to go bald. Embrace it.
Okay.
She's not going to look the same. You're probably going to look at her in a completely different light. Embrace it. What you got to understand is that is not long term. This is what she needs to do in order to get better and come out the other side. But you have to have patience.
Okay, that is so.
You-
Keyword is
You
patience.
have to have you have to have patience. You have to have understanding. You have to have compassion. You have to have empathy, because what you're about to see will make you look at a completely different.
How does the day-to-day change? Are you even supposed to be able to bath yourself? Are you able to cook,
So
clean?
after
anything
my
like-
mastectomy, like for 2 weeks was quite difficult, but my niece came to live with me. My
perfect.
I call her my cousin because she'll be like, "I'm not your niece." My
your
cousin
cousin.
came to live with me, and she's a blessing. We are so close, and she did everything for me. And my girlfriends came and they bathed me and brushed my hair, and I'm so independent. I was like, this is just embarrassing because I can't even wash my own kitty cat. But okay,
It is what it is.
It is what it is. It's what it is. I know, and like, the support you get from your family is so much more than what anyone else can do for you. And for me, I'm fortunate enough to have an amazing group of girlfriends.
Oh, that's so good.
And like when I started chemo, my friends would take me, they'd pick me up. My sister-in-law, who I love to death, she knows who she is, would come to the house on the days that I would have chemo, and she'd help me with my daughter because at the time she was only 2.
Okay, you got to.
But I was there doing 5K, taking my son to school. I did everything like I would normally do, because I said the day I was going to start chemo, I said my kids won't see me crumble, my son won't see me cry, my kids will not. My kids will look at me and go like, "Yeah, mom's fine," and that's exactly how I did it. And I can tell you what, there was a time in August when we went away for a weekend. I spent the whole day at the beach playing with the kids. When I put my head down, I was crying. And my tears touched the pillow because my body was so sore. It was so tired. And I was just like, yep, cry before the kids get up, because tomorrow you're doing it again. And then the next day, it was a full day at the safari park. But if I didn't have my kids, I think it would be a completely different story. I wouldn't have purpose. My whole purpose was I was completely driven by my children, by the fact that they were not going to see their mum crumble. They were not going to have cancer as a negative light in their life. Yes, mum's got cancer, but mum's fighting and mum's going to be okay. And that's all that mattered to me, because it's like, I didn't want my son to think, okay, he probably did think mom was going to die because his grandfather died of it. But I needed him to see that people don't die from cancer.
You can beat it. Some people can beat it.
You can be strong. Hope. You can come out of it. There is hope.
I love that.
Hope around it. And I went through chemo. I did get sick, unfortunately, in my last round, and I ended up in hospital because they thought I had sepsis, but God forbid, that was not my portion.
Hallelujah, amen.
And I walked out the same day.
No, that's good.
How is chemo? Because in my head, obviously, I don't know what it is, but I just feel like
It's
think
very bad, isn't it?
Yeah, like because you mentioned you go there and you get picked up. What do? You just go?
With chemotherapy for breast cancer, there's different types of chemotherapy depending on the cocktail that they give you. So I had EC and Dex cocktail, which is, so you have 3 rounds of the first one, 3 rounds of the second one. The EC they call the Red Devil because it's red.
Okay.
Right.
So like with EC, the symptoms I got was nausea. It's like being pregnant without the baby. That's the best way to put it.
Okay.
It was horrible. You just feel sick constantly. I remember we took the kids to the farm with my friend, and I ended up puking. Like I literally missed the toilet.
Oh. So wait, sorry. The chemo is done at the hospital,
Oh,
but
yeah.
you still have the symptoms after.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll explain.
Yeah.
So when you start chemo, you go for your you go to chemo, and they give you your drug cocktail.
Okay.
So before chemo, they give you steroids, they give you anti-sickness, and when you go home, you take steroids and anti-sickness.
Okay.
So you sit there and you have your infusion, which is normally about 45 minutes for the EC, and you go home.
Okay.
And I tell you what, you feel it instantly.
Okay.
Like I felt ill. Like I felt I can't even explain it. Like it's just the nauseating feeling is horrible, and you can't get rid of it.
Jeez. How long does that last for?
So for me, it lasted through the whole cycle of those 3.
You've constantly feeling that way.
Felt that way after. So chemo was once every 3 weeks.
Right.
So they give you 3 weeks to recover. So for me, it was the first week and a half was horrid. And then by the time I recover and I feel like myself,
You gotta go back again.
and I feel like I want to eat again, you're going back.
Go back again. Oh my goodness.
You go back again. And it was like that. But, excuse me, but the way I just embraced chemo. Like I danced to Buga when I lost my hair.
Oh wow. You are something else. What a woman.
No, have you not seen her page?
I have.
Like, I just be going through her page.
It's hair. Hair does not make me who I am. It's just hair. It's like my breast doesn't make me. I'm still one fine ass woman with one breast, and I don't care.
Facts.
I mean, speaking on that, you are definitely a fine ass woman.
Thank you.
On that point, though, you know we live in a social media age. A lot, especially the young girls, because you said you can get breast cancer as young as 21, 22, so 22. They would probably wrestle with the fact of losing a breast. Is there an option to get it reconstructed with prosthetic or anything like that?
So because I was going to have radiotherapy after, so my treatment was 6 rounds of chemotherapy, 5 rounds of radiotherapy. And what radiotherapy... So chemo basically kills all the cells in your body.
Right.
Okay.
So anything... It literally wipes you.
Okay.
Of the cancer cells.
So chemotherapy effectively kills any cancer cells that are lying dormant in your body or are active.
Okay.
So
active and dormant.
in my instance, it would kill anything that was lying dormant that didn't come up in my tests or my scans, and the radiotherapy would kill anything that's on the surface.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had my 6 rounds of chemo, and I had 5 rounds of radiotherapy. Because I had radiotherapy, the consultant said, I won't give you reconstruction because radiotherapy does things to your skin.
Right.
Okay.
Like at the minute, I have what they call a seroma, so it's fluid underneath my scar, and that's from radiotherapy, and I have some tightening to it. So can you imagine having reconstruction and then the radiotherapy alters your reconstruction because you've gone, and then you'll have to go back
again
and have it done again. But for me, I had made a point that I didn't want reconstruction.
Oh, okay. So you've kind of made it, okay.
And it's mainly because I work in that environment. I know everything that can go wrong with reconstruction. So I rather just
let me not push
blessed.
it. Let me
push
be
the
glad
button.
God is getting rid of this.
Exactly.
Let me not try and push my luck.
And like after I had surgery, when I stood in front of the mirror and looked at myself, I didn't feel any different.
Okay, you still had the confidence.
No, I felt extremely comfortable. I was like, okay, so I have one boob. I'm like a unicorn. But
I mean, silver lining, I guess.
I call myself a uni boob. Like I'll be a uni boob. I won't. At first, it was a bit like weird because like
you're getting used to it.
You get used to it. It's like losing. Like it's weird. You become like almost off balance.
I can imagine because it's just
Are you still getting used to it, or you're used to it now?
I'm 100% used to it. It took me about 2 weeks to get used to it.
Just 2 weeks.
2
That's
weeks,
it.
That's it. Got used.
Jesus
and then
Christ.
when they took off my dressing and I looked at my scars, like okay,
something unique about you.
I was really thinking, what tattoo am I going to put? Am I going to get butterflies? Am I going to get roses?
Have you got it? Have you got
no,
tattoo?
So I'm not allowed to have any tattooing done. It's only until 18 months of next year.
Next year you're going to get a tattoo.
Can't wait already.
I know, I literally can't wait because I've got everything planned. And then do you know what the funniest part was?
Yeah.
Okay.
After you have your mastectomy, you go for your prosthesis.
What's that?
So it is basically a fake boob that you put into
Oh,
your bra.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
So I rocked up at my appointment all happy. Yes. It was white.
Oh.
Oh, so you said no.
And even the person that gave it to you, what?
She was what? She was.
And she didn't look at it and say,
No, because that's what they say, flesh tone. So that's their flesh tone is that color. It wasn't my tone.
That was what they class as flesh tone.
Classed as flesh tone. And I laughed. I was like,
this isn't.
so
yeah.
I can't even be showing this because I'm
Exactly, because you're looking. It's like you got someone else's boobs there.
White.
Yeah, like someone else's boobs there. What's going on?
Surely in 2023,
Nope.
2020.
No. I even tagged the company on Instagram and was like, don't you do like flesh toned for like mixed race?
I think this might be a loophole for you since you've been through this journey. It's a business idea. I think there's a niche in that. Someone needs to start creating that because what's going on?
There is a
what's going on?
There is a lady who did make
Right.
colored ones, but they're the foam ones. So the one they are the ones that
The silicone.
No, they foam. So they're the ones that you get while you're waiting for your prosthesis one.
Okay.
Oh, right,
So,
right. But all the processes one are just flesh tone.
Yes, the ones
From what
I've
you've seen,
seen are all they one flesh tone.
And what they made out of anyways? What materials is it?
It's like
Silicone, kind of
yeah,
like
it's like
rubbery, kind of like
squishy,
squishy.
rubber. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
explain, it's
Silicone.
weird.
Yeah.
I don't wear mine, as you can see.
Yeah.
So did you take it, but you're just not wearing it?
I took it. I do wear it sometimes.
Okay.
If I want to, look like I have two. Not like
Depends what the mood is. What the
it
mood
depends if I want to be like the party chick. Like, Kimmy, what's your party chick? I'm like, hey.
I feel so bad for laughing.
They were like, let me show you a magic trick.
Let me show you a magic trick.
I'm telling you.
That would have set him up.
He would have gone.
Have you not noticed? I've been quiet this whole episode.
Because he's captivated.
I've not said nothing.
Because I'm looking at him and he's rattled.
It's
He's
not rattled
captivated.
because the boys will tell you when I found out that this episode was coming, even coming here, I didn't really want to do it. Not the whole, because I've had issues in the past, the whole talking about health, like I have like anxiety with that per se, but I can't lie to you, like sitting here with you, going through all that and talking the way you're talking, it's kind of just giving me a total different like mindset, completely, like strength. I'm like, what? People really go through this, and it's like nothing's happened. Like I'm not even getting like you just like you said, you just gotta just make the most out of it. Do you know what I mean? And that's something that I can't lie to you, I struggle with. Like even when you're talking about MRI and stuff, because I've had to go for that. Even the night leading up onto like MRI, I couldn't sleep. Do you know what I mean? Because I had to have like a head MRI. So you're going through those loud machines, you're coming out, you're looking at their faces, they're all thinking, what news am I gonna get? So hearing you go through all that, and it's just like a positive mindset. I can't lie, it's helped me a lot, man.
Oh, this
Honestly,
is beautiful.
It's helped me a lot. And that's why even with the episode, I'm like, in as much as like, I feel a type of way about having these kind of conversations because of what I've experienced in my own personal life. I'm like, but other people need it. I can't think of just myself.
Can't be selfish.
It's not just about me kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
No, but
sitting
what I
here
say
like
to you-
is definitely like I appreciate it a lot.
That's so beautiful.
Like that's
Uzi,
why,
man.
like, because
That's dope.
they're
I know, no, 'cause I
they're
know.
more better than me. That's why they can.
Not
but
even
with
that,
me,
no,
it's
but even
like,
when he
yeah.
was going through his situation as well, and that's kind of like, there's the kind of stuff I always tell him, like, because, and I feel like you can't shy away, you can't run away from these kind of conversations.
Yeah.
I feel like you're, no matter as hard as they are to
Yeah.
have,
You have to
you just
have
have to
them.
face it head on, because that's the only way you're gonna get strength. Like I always say, like, look, listen, yeah, it's a horrible thing to say, but a bad day is coming for everyone. Like everybody is life. Like nobody don't know when it is, when they're gonna have a bad news or whatever it is. But at some point in life, everybody will go through that. And I feel like having these kind of conversations earlier on and meeting people and then seeing people go through things and how they handle that and all of that stuff, I think that prepares you, that gears you up for whenever you're going through something as well, you have some sort of strength to pull from, you know what I mean? Like, God forbid you go through something, I'm going to think about you. I'm like thinking, oh my goodness, she dealt with it this way, she was strong, she was that. You get strength from that. And I always say to him, like, look, listen, there are always people that's going through worse than what you are. So don't ever think, oh, you're the worst. Because that's the thing with him. He's always thinking, the worst of the worst of the worst. Like, do you know what I mean? I have this and that. Even like you saying, that talking about what you're saying. Like yesterday when I was telling you lot about the madness that happened to me on the scooter and got up on the no, my whole side is scraped up. I had to laugh. I'm not going to lie, because if this was like before, I'd be fuming. Like, why me? Like, what's all this? I got football to play. But like now I'm like thinking, I'm just laughing like, boy, it could be worse than that.
I mean, but did you die?
Exactly my point. That's what I'm saying though. I was just laughing like, you know what? It is what it
it's-
is. Let me patch myself up and just keep it moving, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Nah,
So
I
yeah,
hear it.
man. So definitely like
Your
what you're
story
doing is crazy.
is gonna
man.
inspire many.
And I did send to you your DM as well. Because me and I've been talking about it. I don't know if you lot know. Like me and I've been talking in the DM like back and forth. So I've been saying to her, like, listen, I'm inspired. Like, I go on her page
No,
from time
it
to time. I
is.
just go through your page.
When you're having a bad day.
No, just say literally, just to
No,
pick
it's
myself
good
up,
though.
because I
It's
just look
so
at the way,
good.
because her page, she's having fun.
Time
This is
of her
not
life,
somebody
you wouldn't
that's
even
not
know.
that you saying like, oh, it's gone through something, that they're down. You just go to your page and you just see happiness every post, and it's just amazing. And I don't think maybe you don't even know that, you know, you're sharing that much joy with the world. That
No,
is dope.
100%.
Yeah,
Like,
inspiring.
even like me sitting here, like, it's taking like what I expected. Like, you know, when you come sit down, you think like, oh, we're
Bit
gonna have a
sad, everyone's
serious
gonna cry, yeah.
conversation. Even while we were doing the dilemma, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I
It's
don't want
coming.
this part to come. But we just sat there and it's just like,
To
it's
his
all
point,
love and fun.
we
do you know
get
what
a
I mean?
lot of flack when we have serious conversations because we are edutainment. So we try to put a bit of banter when we're educating, and you fit right in with the ethos.
Exactly.
Because
Perfect.
normally people get onto us like, they'll be like, oh, these are not the kind of people you should be having these serious conversations with, because we know no one wants to sit there and listen a sad story. You know, sometimes you want to feel sad, but someone like you that can come, and obviously cancer's terrible, and I hate people go through it, but you've put a positive spin on it in a sense of
100%.
this is how you can deal with it in a positive way. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It is beautiful.
So for me, cancer is a rebirth. Is how I look at it, and I say it because God's given me a second chance. At life.
Yep.
And I am like, I'm now going to live for the women who didn't live,
Oh,
and I
peace.
want to
like
be
that.
remembered for what I did, not what I had.
Wow.
And that is for my kids, because I look at it, my life can change. I went for my mammogram last week. In 2 weeks' time, they can come back and tell me, Kimmy, your cancer's back. Like, I don't have that luxury. The way I live now is I live in that moment. Right? My tomorrow isn't promised. So I want to do things that my kids are going to be proud of. So God forbid I die, my son is going to be like, but mum did A, B, C, D, F, G. My daughter can stand and say, my mum educated, encouraged, and empowered women to check. She broke the stigma. She broke the generational taboos that are associated with women's health and self-examination and breast cancer and breast cancer awareness. My mum did all that. So when I'm laying to rest, I can comfortably know I've done my part,
done what you
and my kids can do the same. It's like, I'll ask all of you sat here. Ask your mums if they check. Ask your moms, your sisters, your aunties, your wives, your mother-in-laws. They will come back and they will tell you no. Because I had a conversation with my mom, and I asked my mom, so did you have a conversation with Ma? She was like, no. My mom didn't have that conversation with me. So like that's 3 generations. But I am going to have that conversation with my daughter. I'm going to make sure that she can stand in a doctor's office and advocate for herself and tell that person, this is not normal for me. I want it checked. And that's another thing, like within the African community and other ethnical minority groups, we do not check. We have this whole mentality of, if you go looking for it, you'll find it.
You find it,
It's
yeah.
okay to find it because finding it will save your life.
Save your life.
And people don't understand is that early detection is key. That is what will save your life. Catching breast cancer in the early stages is what is going to save your life. Don't be one of those who finds something and just sits back and be like, oh, it's nothing, it's nothing. And then you get sicker, go to the GP and they tell you that you're terminal when you could have saved your life from the beginning.
Like, no, but think about it. The first time you went, they said to you, oh, that's nothing, don't worry, just go home.
Yeah.
But you persisted. You're
Yeah,
like, nah,
I have
something
a
is, I'm
right.
going to go and check.
I
I'm
have
going
a
to do
right.
further checks. Yeah.
I have every woman has a right. You have a right to advocate for yourself. You have your right to stand there and fight, because it's not going to cost the NHS anything to refer you. You go to the breast clinic, they tell you it's a cyst, happy days, walk out, smile, be happy.
Exactly, yeah.
You go to breast clinic, they tell you it's cancer. There's treatment for you.
Okay.
But the best preventative way to not have cancer is to know your breast, is to be breast aware, is to stand in the mirror every month. Doesn't matter what time of a month it is, but I always do feel it on the first. If you've watched my Instagram, feel it on the first.
Feel it on the first, I like that. Okay. Feel it on the first.
Feel it on the first.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's got definitely got a
Yeah.
reason.
How do they check
Feel it
for
on the
people that
first.
don't know how to check?
So,
Is there...
if you go to Copperfield,
Copperfield.
Copperfield is an amazing charity who was founded by a beautiful lady who was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 23, but after 8 months of fighting with the GP. So she went
Fighting with the GP.
She went to the GP and said, this is not right for me. But because of her age, she was fobbed off. By the time they diagnosed her, she was terminal. And she's doing really well. And I have had the best, what's the word to use? Like, I'm an ambassador for her charity,
Oh,
for
nice.
Copperfield.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I get to go around and talk about breast cancer awareness and education. So their philosophy is like the 3 E's: to educate, empower, and encourage women to be breast aware. To know what's normal for them, to advocate for themselves, to know that this isn't normal for me, and I get it. And is mainly directed at the younger generation. So universities, schools. So the earlier you learn to be breast aware, the easier it becomes for you. It's normal. Oh, it's
like a routine.
It's like
for
a
you
routine
now.
every month. Oh, I need to check this month. Like, and you've got breast cancer now as well. If you go on their website, Copperfield, you've also got Black Women Rising, which is a charity based in London, co-founded by Leanne Pero. So there's lots of tools that can help you.
So
And
if sorry, go on.
and even if you are going through breast cancer now, there is lots of charities that can help you go through it with you.
With you, that can help you, support.
That can help and
basically.
support you. You're not alone. Like, because you have breast cancer, you're not alone. Like, I know that the type of person that I am, I don't dwell. But I know that other people aren't like that. Other people do need to go into a room and listen to what other people are going through, because they need to feel like there's someone else who understands.
And some people, not everyone has the families to support friends that you have and all of that. Some people are like alone. They don't have a lot of family.
And it's like, I have met beautiful women on Instagram who have messaged me and said what an inspiration I am, and we've become friends. And we check in time, we check in time and time. How are you? You okay? And they're like, oh, Kimmy, I love you. You inspire me. You encourage me. And like, for me, it makes sharing my story so much more than what I ever thought it would be. Because I didn't actually share my story until about almost 3 to 4 weeks after diagnosis. And I was sat there and I was like, right, how am I going to change how society look at cancer? Specifically us as a minority group, us as Africans or other ethnic minority groups. How am I going to change how they look at this? And then I was like, I'm just going to share my story. I'm going to blog everything. I'm just going to share it. And whoever wants to comment, feel free. Whoever likes swipe, that's fine. But for me, if I know that I've encouraged one person to check, and I've had many people message and say, I've actually gone and checked today.
There you go. You already changed lives already.
It's like Bow Babe. She did what she went through. Obviously, she's passed away
And
now, but
she's amazing. But look at all the awareness she created.
she curated from
Is
bowel
that the one
cancer.
that raised? The one that raised all the funds.
So
and all that,
people like you sharing your stories.
It's
actually.
like, it's all about, and for me, I'm so passionate about targeting young Black women, young women from different ethnic groups, because we don't check. Like,
and don't have the people to educate us to check as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was telling Nana, I was like, I reached out to lots of female podcast groups and they weren't interested.
Yeah, you was telling me that.
And for
You
me, I was just like, it's
that,
cool. I'm not relevant, but what I'm telling you can save your life. What I'm telling you can save your sister, your friend, your mother, your grandmother, your aunt. What I'm telling you will break generational stigmas. I'm not for you. It's fine. One door closed, God opens another one. It's cool.
That's the thing about the industry that we're in. Like,
It's
I'm gonna send shots. I don't care. Like,
Are you sure we're about to wrap up?
yeah, no. It's a quick one. No, it's just for me. Like, bro, we're especially, I don't know, maybe it's like a UK thing or maybe it's just general in the world. Like, where people just pretty much go with numbers.
And what they can benefit.
Yeah, what they can benefit from people, where really and truly, you gotta just, where's the humanity part of it? Where's the actual part in terms of engaging with people and like, you know, going on a, like me, I'm more of a vibe type of person. I'm more of like a spiritual kind of energy type of person. So I don't care if you only have one follower, even nobody knows you. If we can sit down and have an amazing conversation, and you know what I mean, innit? That's what it's all about for me. So, but it's like I hear that a lot in the UK.
Yeah, and
bro. I hear that
100%.
a
Yeah,
lot.
let me just say something to top up what you've just said. Yeah, what I realize with people as well. Yeah, because we'll tell you like this. Not we are. You see, when you're capable of doing certain things, like we know us three alone, we can make people laugh. Like we do this thing. We're not looking for numbers. You see those people that move in a certain way, they ain't got no personality. I tell you that for fact, yeah.
They rely on that.
No,
innit?
they rely on other people's numbers to get to places. Because if you strip the numbers off of them, they haven't got nothing. But in terms of us, and we always say this, if we can have a conversation with someone, I don't care how many followers you have, I'm not bothered about that, because regardless,
We're here to educate.
do you know what I
We're here
mean?
to
We're for
educate,
all.
man.
It's not about, so people
We're
need to
not
change
chasing
with that, man.
numbers,
Go and
but-
work on yourself and your personality as a person.
Facts.
Stop chasing other people's numbers to get yourself to that next position, man.
Nah, and I'm not
100%.
surprised by what you said in
Yeah.
terms of them not, because a lot of podcasts are just looking for viral moments.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if
there
you're
you
not,
go.
if you don't fit in that bracket,
Don't come for me when I'm viral.
Exactly.
Funny enough,
Exactly.
if you were on the scale of Barrel Babe, you know how she ended up
yeah,
getting a date
yeah.
book and everything.
Yeah.
They would be sending you.
Yeah.
But it's ironic, and I'm not even trying to say anything, but it's ironic that you know they bash a lot of male podcasts, but it's ironic that we are the ones that said, yeah, we'd love to have you on. Do you know what I mean? And I'm glad you came. And unfortunately, we're almost at the end, but I really wanted to share some statistics quickly to let our viewers know.
Mr. Statistics.
As I am Mr. Statistics. So there are around 55,900 new breast cancer cases in the UK every year.
That's right.
And that's more than
That's a
150 every day.
lot.
Yeah.
Breast cancer is the most common cancer in the UK, account for 50% of all new cancer cases. In females in the UK, breast cancer is the most common cancer as well, again with the 55,000 new cases. In males in the UK, breast cancer is not among
That's
the
what I was
most,
gonna say. Yeah.
the 20 cancers, but men can still
Can
get
still get breast cancer.
breast
So
cancer.
you men out there,
Yeah.
you know, you need to check.
Check your breast.
Everyone who has breast tissue
Yeah.
can get breast cancer.
So that's why I
Please.
think they always say, Mel, push-ups, like get rid of it. You know, you'll make sure you have a solid. Can't be having, you know what I mean?
So I just wanted to also touch on very, very quickly, because we have to wrap up. The young ladies that may get breast cancer, 22 and above. Obviously, you mentioned your one led you to early menopause. Is there a scheme where they can save their eggs or anything like that, so they can have
There
children
is,
in the
there
future?
is. So when you are when you haven't started a family yet, if it's possible for you to go through egg harvest,
Yeah.
you can.
Okay.
All
I know a young lady who, unfortunately, that is not on the table for her. So she's 27, and she will have to deal with the fact that she's never going to be able to have kids.
Because she doesn't have any eggs?
No,
What?
because she can't have that. She can't be
So
pregnant.
it's like, so they,
because
they test
you do
isn't it?
know that when you are pregnant, your body produces estrogen.
Yeah, yeah,
Estrogen is what causes cancer.
yeah. Okay.
Wow.
But I
So-
don't get it. If she has eggs, why can't they take them out and
Because
have?
if your cancer is ER positive,
Yeah.
it's caused by estrogen. When you are pregnant, your body produces estrogen.
No, sorry, what I meant was, can't she take her eggs and maybe have a surrogate or anything like that?
If
So
she can,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
but
that's
physically carry.
She can't.
Oh, she can't.
Oh.
Okay, but you're saying the other one before they can actually have their eggs harvested and still carry. Is that what you're saying?
So
The
could you
other,
still
other
carry?
cases are
No,
doing that?
I can't.
Oh, because of your
No, because
estrogen.
you're
I got it.
But
I got
if
it.
you're younger, you can harvest your egg and still carry.
Yes.
But
if
some
you,
people you
if
can't.
you haven't had kids,
Yeah.
they will talk for
Fertility.
See, look, chemo brain. There we go. I knew I was waiting for it to come out.
We rebuke it in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Fertility. They will go
Fertility.
through fertility
Okay.
options with you.
With them,
Okay.
okay. So there are definitely
There are
things.
definitely things
Options
available.
available,
Like,
yeah.
don't think because you get cancer
That's right.
young that
That's
your
it.
future in
No
having
more
kids
kids,
is
yeah.
gone.
You can
It's
still have
not.
kids.
You can still have kids. There's a process that you have to go through with your oncologist, your consultants. You'll sit down, you'll draw a plan, and it's what will work for you.
Workable.
Okay.
Okay, so everyone's different. So
Everyone's different. Everyone's
cases,
cancer case is
by
completely
case.
different. Nobody can stand there and say that me and you have the same cancer.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
our treatments, we may have the same cancer,
But our
but our
treatment's
treatment's
totally
totally
Because
different.
our body's different.
Okay. So, what would your last and final word be to the
people out
viewers?
there, yeah.
My last and final word would be stand in front of the mirror and feel yourself like you've never felt
What's
it
the
before.
word called? Was it your first every...
Check
Feel
it
it on the first.
Feel it on the
Feel it on the
first. There you
So
go.
make sure you understand what your breast feels like. Like, especially women who are big breasted, your breasts tend to be more dense than women. Mine were quite dense
Okay.
because I was gifted after having 2 kids. You know, I was like, they were there. You know?
Praise
Just
God.
saying. So,
Yeah.
you know, but you have to know what's different. You have to know what's lumpy, what's not. And you really have to really stand and scrutinize your nipple, what's normal for you, what's not. Any change, I would say,
Check.
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 Go get it checked, and do not let the doctor tell you because you are at this age you can't get cancer, because you can.
So just insist.
So
And
insist.
I'm so sorry. One last question, like to you. Again, some people like some older generation, some mindset, the conspiracy world. They would say, like when you go for this checks, like the scanning and all of that stuff, the radiation can cause cancer as well. Is there any truth to that? I just want to debunk that. That's why I thought I'd just bring that. Yeah.
Going for
Because some people will tell you that's why they
going
don't
for
want
an
to go.
ultrasound can't give you cancer.
Exactly.
Having
Yep.
a mammogram can't give you cancer.
Yeah.
I had radiotherapy, and there is a slim chance it can, because it's radioactive waves
yeah.
to the skin.
Yeah.
But the tests that you will go for are not going to give you cancer. And the whole mentality of, I'm not looking because I'm going to find it, you'll kill yourself in the
Yeah.
process.
There you
So,
go. I just wanted to make sure, like,
you know, preventatively,
people
It
out
can't
there will
happen.
find any excuse not to go and do tests. That's
we
why.
rebuke it. Okay, and where can people find you? At your socials?
So I am Kimsey Kimmer on Instagram, or Kimsey Kimmy on TikTok. Feel free to check me out. You probably think I'm crazy,
No.
but
She's fun, guys. Don't listen to her. She's
She's
fun.
crazy fun.
She's fun.
She's crazy
my
fun.
positivity isn't for everybody, but those who get to share my presence will understand why I am the way that I am.
Okay, well, we really appreciate you joining us on the show
you
today.
for
Thank you for
having
sharing your
me.
journey. It'll be great to come back again, but we do have some lovely gifts for you.
And
Just to thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
And
you.
sharing your journey, because you're going to be an inspiration to a lot of
Thank
women.
you.
Hopefully, everyone that watches this will get checked. The guy didn't even remove the carrier bag for.
I don't know.
My
What are you
goodness,
doing?
bro. Can we remove this?
Imagine.
Goodness sake, but that's for you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your journey with us, and we pray
you
that
for
the
having
cancer
me.
never returns in Jesus' name.
Amen.
It's not coming
Amen.
back.
It's
Amen.
not coming
Amen.
back.
But, you know,
Uzi says so. My
Nah.
God, don't
If it
sleep.
comes
It's not
back-
coming.
It is over.
It's not
I'll
coming
kick
back.
ass. Round 2. Let's
If it comes
go.
back, I feel sorry for the cancer.
Exactly. Yeah, this time. Yeah.
It will not be your portion.
Amen.
May you continue to strive.
you.
May you
Amen.
continue to
Amen.
support women. May you continue to inspire women.
Advocate.
And I
Amen.
pray everyone watching this is a lady, even a man, please.
Check
Yeah.
your
Your
boobs.
breast. Make sure you check it on the first.
On the first. Fill it first.
Fill it on the first.
Fill it on the first.
We've been In My Opinion podcast. Please comment, subscribe, share this. If you've ever never wanted to share, please, today
Share this
is
one.
the day, because this can save lives.
Anyone that comes across this one, share
Please
it.
share it in Jesus' name. Thank you for
Amen.
watching us. Peace.
Peace.
Later.
Thanks for listening to the In My Opinion podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, peace.